Good morning, my friends. I thank you for joining us. We have the good Congressman on, Trent Kelly, from the 1st District. Good morning, Congressman. It has been a while. How are you, sir?
I am great. Good to hear a little JT this morning to get it started off right there.
James Taylor will never go out of style, will he? Never.
He will not.
Yeah. I'm getting just a couple of things to ask you. And I was reading over just some information, and I think a lot of people forget that as far as your military background, and you look at what is going on with our military today and the commander-in-chief, and it's got to affect you with acid reflux more than the average Joe. But your thoughts?
Yeah, they've got this woke agenda they're trying to push down. Everything's about CRT or, all this diversity stuff that they keep pushing and going after these violent extremism seems to be the term of the day for Democrats. And What's amazing about that is less than 100 members of our over 1 million people in the military have been found to do that, yet they're spending all these dollars and focusing on that. And they're actually causing people to see differences in each other when they shouldn't. In the military, everybody needs to be green or blue, whatever color they are, the uniform that they wear. They don't need to be worrying about race. And so when you focus on a problem that's not there, what you do is sometimes you create more issues than you're solving.
I don't think, looking back to even the Barack Obama and Joe Biden era, when Ray Mabus was, chosen as far as the Navy is concerned, and it was just social engineering. And like you said, because if people don't know this, Trent Kelly went in 1990, Operation Desert Shield, bear with me here, I'm going to read a little bit of your resume. Operation Desert Storm, second lieutenant in the engineer office in 1990. 2005, you were deployed as a major in the Iraq War. Then from there, you went 2014, a brigadier commander in the 168th Engineer Brigade. From there, you were brigadier general in 2018, and then from there, he currently serves as assistant adjutant general for the Army, Mississippi National Guard, and the commander of the Mississippi Army National Guard, with quite a bit of commendations, inclusive of 2 Bronze Star medals. So, hats off for your service. So you've seen this. You've been there in charge of a lot of soldiers, men and women, black and white and brown, and you're telling me it's not that big of a deal as far as when you start looking at the barracks.
Yeah, well, soldiers are very resilient, and I use when we had the capital response from Mississippi, we had the most diverse group from Mississippi, and all those guys and girls were volunteers. So no one was made to come up here to do the capital response, and we had the most diverse group here. And I'll tell you, most of the people don't focus on those things. It's just sad that some of the top leadership, starting at the president, is trying to push a woke agenda on people and try to make them see the differences in each other. But I'll tell you, in the military, most of the time, people don't pay attention to that stuff. They just continue to do their jobs. We got more important things to do than focus on woke agendas. We're focusing on defending this great nation.
What will a Republican House look like, or in power coming up in the midterms? What would that look like as far as the House hearings? And I know you serve. You still serve on the House Armed Services Committee, and I think also on the Small Business Committee, but also on the Oversight and Regulations Committee of one of those agencies. Do you think we need more hearings with us having the gavel, and I say us, the Republican Party having the gavel?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We're going to focus on doing our job. Now, we're going to get into things like, what's really on Hunter Biden's laptop and what did he really do? How much money did he take from foreign countries? We're going to focus on things like that because we deserve the answers. We're going to focus on the failures at the border to respond. I mean, look at what they're doing with these poor border guards. They couldn't find them guilty of doing what the president accused them of. So then they trump up and say, well, they said something, so we're going to suspend them anyway. I mean, it's killing our morale on the border. So we're going to focus on things like that. Also, energy independence. We've got all these excuses. President Biden says we can drill. They can't drill. all the permits are either places where there's not oil or they won't allow them to do that. We went from an energy producing nation where we were exporting energy to now we're importing. He's begging from Saudi Arabia or Iran or wherever to try to get oil.
Yeah.
And so we're going to look into this administration and see what all the things, but we're going to also focus on doing our business.
Well, even if the House and the Senate go over to the Republicans, you still have a president in there who's going to be a Democrat, one way or the other, even if he retires and Kamala Harris is in there. So you got 2 years of stopping the agenda, but that's important, one way or the other.
It is, and we've got to focus on that. And some of the things we've got to also look at oversight is to make sure that our, I'm also on the Intelligence Committee, and one of the things we're really focusing on is making sure that we're not turned inward, that we're looking outward at threats, not trying to create monsters in America that aren't here. If you're a Republican, you're not a violent extremist. But that's the message that we've heard from the Democrats that we're hearing in these January 6 hearings right now is if you're a Republican, you're a violent extremist. If you're a Democrat, you burn down cities, it's okay. That's just a party of love.
It is remarkable that in the same 24-hour cycle where we get a couple of members from the administration say, look, we want to give you a new warning about China. China is really involved in this and that. And then at the same day, we have the story of more revelations from the laptop. Even one of the pictures, it's not a picture, video, of the guy weighing, and we're talking about Hunter Biden, actually weighing crack cocaine. And this guy's sitting on the front seat for the presentation of the Freedom Medal honor. How do you do that? How in the world would you even let your son sit there? I mean, this guy should be in prison, to be honest with you. But he is, and hopefully we'll get to dig into some of that stuff. But the important thing right now is we've also got to focus on China and Russia. Russia's aggression in Ukraine, it threatens the world and world stability, and it gets more and more dangerous every day. And then China is the real threat that we face, both economically and militarily in every other way. And so we've really got to focus on China and protecting our supply lines, which this administration has done a poor job of doing. We're still as vulnerable as we were 4, 5, or 10 years ago, are we not? We haven't moved away from that vulnerability, whether it's precious metals or I had something on the air yesterday talking about all the graphite that actually comes out of China to make these EVs. And the more EVs that we are pressured to buy, the more important China becomes.
Absolutely, and and this energy still got to be created some way. And listen, we're just not there yet with solar and wind and all those things. They're great, but we don't know how to store that energy and to ship it to other places. And so we don't want a nation where we're blacked out 40% of the day that we don't have electricity. It's hot in Mississippi in the summertime, and we sure don't need no air conditioning during the middle of the day.
Have you watched any of the hearings, the January 6 hearings?
Very little. I try not to. It infuriates me to watch. It's a joke. It's a stage show. It's almost like a TV trial show. They're showing one side of the evidence there. They're hiding exculpatory evidence. They're staged videos and all this and keyed. Anybody who puts that much effort into something, this is just a witch hunt. They're just trying to make sure that President Trump doesn't run again in 2024, and this whole January 6th thing is a sham as far as I'm concerned. We've already had the investigation. It was bad that day, but we've already had the investigation. That's not what this is about.
You got to wonder if he decided tomorrow or even today said, look, I'm not going to run, but I'm going to back somebody. What would happen? I mean, number one, if he decided not to run, they're lost. There's not too much else for them to do. I mean, that's their one shot on it. Look, it's always a pleasure talking to you, sir. I thank you so very, very much. Next time you're in town, stop by. I look forward to seeing you.
Yes, sir. You have a great day.
Thank you, man. That is the one and only Trent Kelly, Congressman